I'm burning. All right, we are back on the airwaves. Went 2-1 yesterday with our Monday night football picks.
Damn you,
That's
Justin
good.
Jefferson.
That is, of course, the dulcet tones of Mark Zinno, who I'm sure has a ton to rant about today. We will be talking college basketball and the NBA Cup Finals. That will be our selections. We also, Mark, I understand you and I have $5 picks. It is $5 Tuesday at WagerTalk.com. Stay tuned for more on that. I will kick it to you as I often do. You can feel free to use this time however you'd like, but I would hope, and I know our viewers hope, you will give away a play at some point. Clemson, South Carolina is the college basketball. It's a very good college hoops card tonight. Not a huge college hoops card, but 4 of the 5 teams that are still undefeated, Mark, are in action tonight. Don't think Tennessee is going to go down as a 38-point favorite at home versus Western Carolina. You are not talking. I'll be talking about one of the undefeated teams later on. You probably have a hint what I'm going to do against them, but wait and see who it is. Clemson, South Carolina, Mark. Neither of these teams are undefeated, but you see value.
I do. I will say I only say damn you, Justin Jefferson, because of the pass he dropped last night. That would have put us over our yardage total. I mean, he got 13, 14 targets. Should have gone over the number. They were up 7-0. They were going in for the second score. He ran his out route and tried to turn upfield before he had the ball and just dropped it. And that was the difference in us not getting there. So apologize to those who tailed, should have hit, but did not. Welcome to our world. Okay, let's get to college hoops here. Interesting kind of, matchup between these two teams that normally would be a one that we are very excited about with football, not so much one that we are excited about with college hoops, but still nonetheless, they'll be in Columbia tonight for a game where Clemson is the 25th ranked team in the country, is laying 2.5 at South Carolina. You know, when you start to dive into some of the numbers in these games here, South Carolina is the worst team in a loaded SEC. Now, I say that like not as a pejorative, but just simply the fact that, again, when you look at the SEC and how good this conference is, them being the worst, ranked 68th in Ken Palm, and the other, 15 teams are ranked above that, is a problem. They also have the worst offense, according to Ken Palm, offensive rating in the SEC, and the third worst defense. So that's a slippery slope because they are up against a lot of really good teams. And they also play the slowest tempo, or second slowest tempo of any other team other than Tennessee in the SEC. Now, granted, again, South Carolina is in the ACC. I'm well aware of this, but South Carolina is also a team that is ranked ahead by about 40 spots in Ken Palm over South Carolina. That's a pretty big gap for two teams to only be laying this number here. And when you start to look at some of the other metrics, really, Clemson has a decided advantage in, a lot of important categories. Clemson doesn't turn the ball over. South Carolina is really bad at forcing turnovers. So Clemson's going to have a lot of possessions here. They're going to have long possessions here. And for a team that is 57th in the country in 3-point percentage shooting at 37.5%, that's something that is going to work into their favor. So, and you also talk about rebounding percentage, offensive rebounds. Clemson, 35th in the nation in offensive rebound percentage against a Clemson defense that's 159th in offensive rebounds allowed. These are, fine metrics here. The difference isn't that far off. But ultimately, too, it's Clemson's defense, which is 16th in the country in adjusted efficiency, which really sells me against this South Carolina offense. It's just not very good. When you talk about the comparative rankings, they're 108 in 3-point shooting, they're 126th in 2-point shooting. And oh, by the way, South Carolina, 300th in free throws. That's a problem for a team that wants to keep a game close. It's a 2-point home dog here. So we're going to forget the points. We're going to take the money line here with Clemson, a minus 135 number. And we are going to back the Clemson Tigers here, or minus 130 rather, back the Clemson Tigers on the road against South Carolina tonight.
I am muted, so I was
Such a dumbass.
Okay, well, I was so entranced by
What are
your
you like? Why
breakdown
are you
there.
muted? Is there somebody else in the room you're talking to while this is going on? Like, what is the reason to mute?
I'll be honest with you, I'm a loud
Did you have
coffee
to
drinker.
fart? Did you burp? Like, was
I'm
there
a
sort of?
loud coffee drinker. Here, do you want this going on during your breakdown? Do you want that?
You don't have to
No,
do
I
that.
don't think you do.
Watch this. Ready? Watch. Ready?
Let me
See
try.
that? No.
Okay.
No. So you don't have to do that.
Smash that like button if you agree. There was a whole
You
Curb Your
don't have to do
Enthusiasm
that.
episode
That is
about that.
optional.
I'll be honest with you. I'm all right. I'm the
It's
asshole.
completely
All right,
optional.
Curb Your Enthusiasm. All right, just stop it. You're confusing me. All I want people to do is smash that like button if you agree with Mark Zinno taking the Clemson Tigers against the South Carolina Gamecocks. A Palmetto State battle there. From
Smash the
that,
thumbs down button if you don't see any reason for Brian Power to be using the mute button. There we go.
no, stop it. By the way, people like your rants. The comment section said
They do.
the votes are in. They like your rants. One guy said the show's better when Zinno's losing. I don't know what to think about that.
The show is a lot better when Zinno's on tilt. Yes, when Zinno is on a losing streak, the show is that much better. So,
All
yeah.
right. Well, let's see if we can make I can make a 2 for 2 actually here this week with my half of the double play. I'm looking at Kansas State money line against Drake. So both plays in today's double play in college hoops are money line plays. Look, Drake is one of the 5 undefeated teams we've got left in college basketball. I think they're the weakest of the 5, Mark. Tip your cap to what Drake has done. They won an MT. I think it was the Charleston Classic now. I didn't write down which one it was, but, they beat Miami of Florida, a win that looked pretty impressive at the time, but Miami, Florida stinks. They beat FIU. They beat Vandy. They were underdogs in all 3 of those games. But, all right, let's take a look at these respective rosters here, Kansas State and Drake, shall we? No doubt about it, which team has more talent. Kansas State in the offseason, Mark, as you know, doled out a lot of money to assemble this roster. They got a lot of transfers, a lot of people coming from a lot of different places. This Drake roster, meanwhile, there are a lot of guys who came up from the Division II level following their first-year head coach, Ben McCollum, here. So it's pretty crazy. Sometimes in college hoops, it's not about the individual parts, it's about the sum of those individual parts. Right now, the sum of the individual parts for Drake is doing better than the sum of the individual parts for Kansas State. But I think that changes tonight. You look at matchups. We talk about styles making fights, okay? There is one sort of thing that sticks out that Drake is very bad at. They turn the ball over a lot. 22.6% of their offensive possessions, they're giving the ball away to the opposition. You can't keep getting away with it. That's bottom 15 in the country. And guess what, guys? You know what Kansas State does well, even though they've lost 3 games this season? They force turnovers. I think those extra possessions lead to obviously more points naturally for Kansas State. I think Kansas State hands Drake its first loss of the season. This game is being played in T-Mobile in Kansas City, so technically a neutral site game, but still Kansas State's used to playing there. I don't think Drake what is Drake going to win them all this year? No, I don't think so. Give me Kansas State on the money line for my half of the double play. They bounced back from that loss to St. John's where they were in it early and then just kind of fell apart late. Thoughts?
Um, if we're talking about the Drake from Seinfeld, we love the Drake, but this is not the Drake that we like.
I don't love the Drake, and nor should you.
How do you not like the Drake? Everyone loves the Drake.
I don't like the Drake. You know what you should love is $5 Tuesdays at
Oh yeah.
WagerTalk.com. We are doing, yes, folks. If it is Tuesday, that means $5 plays from all of your favorite handicappers,
Guess who's
including your
on
new
an
favorite.
8-2 $5 Tuesday run?
Oh, now you're going to tout your record. Oh, I see.
Yeah, because all I do is just tell you that I won. That's it. I don't have to talk about 8 weeks ago and 2 years ago and last 3 years. No one gives a rip. 8-2 on Tuesdays.
I don't remember where I was 3 years ago. I'm going to be very honest with you.
Yeah, I mean that's why it's not important to bring it up.
Okay. Well, it is important to bring up.
You want me to sit here and tell stories of lore about how I bet on the Giants commander? Well, they were the Redskins back then. Giants because Redskins came 3 years ago and covered a number. Like what the?
I'd love to hear that story.
I don't remember.
Exactly. You just made it up. All right.
Exactly.
Now I'm going to be very honest. I'm going to be very honest with the people. I'm always honest with you. If nothing else, I'm honest, right?
We are honest.
Yes, you're honest too. You're always an honest man. You've never lied to me. You've never lied to the public. You and I, our $5 play today. It's on the Frisco Bowl, Memphis and West
Mhm.
Virginia. It's the same play for Mark and I. So you do not need to buy both of us. You can just choose
Well,
which
buy mine then.
one of it. Well, choose whoever you like
No,
more
no,
and
pick
buy it
me.
and buy.
No, pick me. He doesn't
Okay,
need the money. I do.
you
I got
sound
2 kids, a
desperate.
mortgage, and an ex-wife. What do you got?
A wife and a kid.
Okay, there you go. Shopping at Aldi? Exactly.
Hey,
You get to shop
hey,
at
that's
Aldi. I'm going to shop right in Food
hey.
Mart and Stop
God
Shopping
bless
State.
my wife, man. She handles all that.
Okay.
I like that. My wife is always looking to save a dollar, and I'll tell
See,
you
now,
what, I'm
now,
not going to discourage her.
now you made it personal. Now I have to make sure I have more $5 sales.
Oh, for God's sake, this isn't a contest. It's not a pissing
Oh, you want to
contest,
do
all
the
right?
contest? Another sci-fi reference? I'm out. Um, yeah, buy mine.
$5.
BP
Okay.
doesn't need it.
I
He
need
sells
it.
a lot more than I do everything else. I stink at this.
Anyway,
He's
stop
Or
it.
DM at Newbie Talks, and I'll just give you both of their plays for free.
No, do that. No, we are.
Oh man, what a jerk
Wow.
move that is.
Hey, Dad, the jerk store called. They're all out of
They're
you.
running out
All
of
right.
you.
Yeah,
Ah,
there we go. All right.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Seinfeld
The
references
Seinfeld
rolling.
edition.
There we
yes.
go.
Okay. So for Frisco Bowl, I mean, should we talk about this game globally, Mark?
I can't. I mean, I can't believe you actually said that out loud. I mean, because we were deciding whether we were going to make the game part of our best bet from another angle. And Brian Power says to me before the show, "Well, no, we should. We'll tell people that it's part of our $5 play, and but we'll talk about the game globally." I'm like, I have no idea what that means. The game isn't being played in another country. It's not. This is not geopolitics. My God, it's just a football game between two teams. Here's the
Yeah.
global conversation. Okay. Memphis started out as an underdog. West Virginia, they fired their coach. They have like 12 guys in the transfer portal. They have a whole bunch of opt outs coming, and the line flipped, and it has been pouring in on Memphis money ever since. We hit 5, I think, is the top of the market. We're starting to see a
Yes.
little bit of buyback coming on West Virginia as that number getting a little too fat. Our general feeling is globally that we're not scared of the steam and the money moving this way. I think there's a much higher level of motivation for Memphis here than there is for West Virginia. I know that there's a feeling that 6-6 teams want to finish with a winning record, so it's motivation for them to finish 7-6 and not 6-7. However, the profile of a smaller school, not a non-power 4 school, with 10 wins playing a bigger power school that only has 6 wins, I think the motivation is on the side of the smaller school to prove something right, especially when West Virginia has a ton of opt outs. In fact, we see the same profile, by the way, in a couple of days with UNLV and Cal. The difference here is that UNLV is the one with all the opt outs and a new head coach and a quarterback transfer and everything else. So, it's hard to play that game. But globally, according to Brian Power, you know, we're not really scared of the
The
money.
money's on Memphis. The money's on Memphis. WT.buzz/BP, WT.buzz/MZ. Take your pick. Mark and I are aligned on the Frisco Bowl tonight. Just $5 to find out who
For
both
every person that buys your
like.
package over mine, you're going to give me $5. I'm going to come to your house and beat you up.
Okay, that's bullying, and you're not supposed to do that anymore. All right,
Who
let's
cares?
go
Throw a
to
pair.
the NBA Cup,
Fight back, you
the
big Sally.
Emirates Cup.
No, not Emirates. NBA Cup.
It's Emirates. They paid a lot of money to sponsor this thing. I've been through that with you.
You have me confused with someone who gives a rip.
Bucks and the Thunder. The Thunder, I think, are in the discussion for best team in the league so
Yeah.
far this season, right? So
Yep.
they're rightful favorites over Milwaukee, which of course is Algonquin for the good land. But Milwaukee, I think you have to throw their first few weeks of the season out at this point, Mark, because the Bucks are starting to play like the Bucks that we know. Lillard, Giannis. What are they? 10-2 now? Their last 12 games overall, I believe. They're playing well. They're getting 5 points in a game where I talked about this on the Power Five. These NBA Cup games, when they move to Vegas, okay, the semis and the finals, these games stay under. Generally speaking, the under's 5-0 in NBA Cup games played in Vegas all time. We like the points with Milwaukee. Tell the people why.
Well, a couple of reasons here. look, Oklahoma City's a really good team. There's no doubt about it. But when you start to look at some of the metrics for Milwaukee, they're top 10 in offensive efficiency. They're 13th in defensive efficiency. And I know Oklahoma City is, top 10 in offensive and defensive efficiency. And that's fine. And Oklahoma City plays with a ton of pace. They're one of the fastest teams in the league, and Milwaukee's a little bit on the slower side. So there's a sort of styles make fights kind of deal. But here's two things that really sell me on the Bucks here. Number one, Oklahoma City is one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. Last time I checked, Milwaukee has that guy named Giannis, and he seems to gobble up a lot of those rebounds. When the ball goes off the rim, puts both of his hands on it, brings it down. It's called a rebound. Thank you, Torian Prince. And he gets a lot of those. So that is going to play in Milwaukee's favor unless Oklahoma City is just shooting the lights out. Not only that, Milwaukee's a much better shooting team than Oklahoma City. Their effective field goal percentage is third in the NBA. Oklahoma City is 15th. And even at that, the true shooting percentage for Milwaukee, fourth in the league, Oklahoma City, 18th. So the fact that Oklahoma City will take a lot of shots and not make as many is an advantage. Bucks, if you want to look at some historicals in this series between these two teams for as little as they meet, Giannis has been in Milwaukee for quite some time. Well, I don't know. The Bucks have won 6 of the last 7 meetings in this series. The one that they won was the last one they played. It was last year at the very end of the regular season in a game that didn't matter to Milwaukee. They had no reason to play it. Oklahoma City, I think, was still vying for the top seed. They ended up winning that game. They were a 14-point favorite and covered it. Nonetheless, Milwaukee's beating them every time. And now we're getting points here as a dog with the Bucks. We'll take the 5 here and try to steal a win outright. We'll sprinkle on the money line as well from Milwaukee, but we'll take the 5 points for our show best bet.
Just a little sprinkle there. All right. Milwaukee, show best bet. In case you missed it or already forgot, Mark likes Clemson money line. I like Kansas State money line in college hoops. That was the double play. Don't forget about those $5 plays. Again, Mark and I are in agreement on tonight's Frisco Bowl, so you only have to pick one of us. $5. You get to find out what both Mark and I like in Memphis, West Virginia. Don't forget to subscribe to the WagerTalk YouTube channel. It is a very fine decision. That way you don't miss any of the exclusive sports betting content
and
we
remember,
provide here on a daily basis.
When you choose the $5 play, pick me.
It's very selfish. Very selfish. I hope they pick me.
I don't think they will.
Why?
Because they like me better.
Now it's getting a little personal. It's getting a little personal now.
You have nothing. They do like me better. I got a song. You don't. And here it is.
I don't love a sloppy parlay.
Anything sloppy these days fits my lifestyle. So see you guys tomorrow.
Comment down below with your thoughts. Who do you like more?
Thoughts?
Say me. Catch some tickets, everybody.